Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco Peak Pro dab of the day with diamonds, Alien Lab diamonds today. As always, you know what to do if you enjoyed today's video. Send a like, send a comment, subscribe, and join the family. Today, we're going to talk about how to become a better decision maker. Everyone wants to make good decisions. They want to know what to say in the job interview. They want to know how to invest money. They want to know how to live the best life they can. Fortunately, all of you, all of us listening to this, can be better decision makers. If you want to become a better decision maker, well, take a few tips. Number one, take note of your overconfidence. Overconfidence can easily make your judgment go awry. That's right. People overestimate their performance as well as the accuracy of their knowledge. Perhaps you're the 90% that are sure you know where the office is that you're visiting. Or maybe you're the 80% that are certain you can convince your boss to give you a promotion. Well, if you're overconfident about those things, your plans are likely to go sideways. It's especially important to consider your confidence level in terms of time management. Most people overestimate how much they can accomplish in a certain period of time. Do you think it will only take you 1 hour to finish that report? Did you predict you'd be able to pay your online bills in 30 minutes flat? You might find you're overconfident in your prediction. Take time daily to estimate. Then at the end of the day, review the estimates and how close they were to reality. You see, good to great decision makers recognize the areas in their life where overconfidence could be a problem. Then they adjust their thinking and their behaviors accordingly. We should consider that. And we should consider identifying the risks we take. Familiarity breeds comfort. Pardon me. And there's a good chance you make some poor decisions simply because we haven't grown accustomed to our habits and we don't think about the danger we're in or the harm we're causing. Think about it. Maybe just because we haven't done it, we don't know it's a problem. But you have to remember that there's guidelines. There are habits that become commonplace. And these things require little thoughts on our part because they're automatic usually. Well, maybe we should take time to see if our habits are healthy or harmful and create a plan to develop healthier daily habits. Well, you want to frame your problem in a different way. The way you pose a question or a problem plays a major role in how you'll respond and how you'll perceive your chances of success. So the facts are the same, but people who hear 10% die perceive their risk to be greater than 90% live. You see, when you're faced with a decision, frame the issue differently. Take a minute to think about what the slight change in wording and how you can affect the problem. The surgeon was really talking about his or her success. And it was in a long paragraph, but it said 10% die. Oh boy. But 90% live. So you've got to stop thinking about the problem. You've got to stop being laser focused on it, and you've got to broaden your perspective a little bit. That's right. Your overthinking sometimes can be a problem. Weighing the pros and cons back and forth like a long tennis match is going to increase your stress level. Take it from me. Got to get involved in an activity that takes you and your mind off the problem and let your brain work through things in the background. And you know what? You'll develop clearer answers that way. Well, maybe we should set aside time to reflect on our mistakes. That's right. Maybe we should just think, and a new habit should become to review the choices we've made throughout the day. Did they turn out well? what went wrong. And look for the lessons that are there, the knowledge that can be gained from every mistake we made. Just make sure we don't dwell on the mistakes for too long. Rehashing your missteps over and over isn't good for anybody. Not going to do anybody any good. And also, keep your reflection time to a limit. That's right, 5 or 10 minutes a day. Take the information you've gained, committed to making better decisions going forward. Acknowledge your shortcuts. It can be uncomfortable to admit, but you're biased in some ways. Everybody is. It's impossible to be completely objective on everything. In fact, our mind has created mental shortcuts. That's right. And they help us make faster decisions. Now, while they help us from toiling every day hours to make a choice, they might steer us wrong. So we have to remember. We have to remember the news. We have to remember things we're impacted by. Our daily habit to consider mental shortcuts that lead to bad decisions should be looked at. And we should acknowledge incorrect assumptions that we might be making about people or events. And guess what? Maybe we'll be able to become a little bit more objective. You always want to consider the opposite in a perspective. As a salesman, you had to hear the other guy say no every time. That trained you how to handle objections. Well, once you've decided something's true, you're going to cling to that belief. But those beliefs assume we're always true and 100% accurate. They're wrong. You got to challenge your own belief right away. And you got to say, well, what if it wasn't? What if it was the opposite of what I'm saying? What if, you know what? We got to look at both ways. Bingo. That's what we have to do. We have to look at always both sides of the coin. You know, years and years and years ago, I returned a leased vehicle. My wife and I, Mrs. Stoner and I, returned a leased vehicle. And the man took the keys from us, signed it, and we walked away. And I said to Mrs. Stoner, I said, honey, he didn't even walk around the car. There could have been no side on that car, and he took it in. Considering the opposite will always help you break down unhelpful beliefs so you can look at situations in another way and decide to act differently. It's a wonderful thing when you can look at things multidimensionally. Well, you also are inclined to have emotions as part of decisions. Make sure you know what yours are. Make sure you know the role that they play in your decision making. Does excitement overestimate your chances of success? Does anxiety underestimate your chances of success? Make sure as part of your daily habit, you note whether you're feeling sad, angry, embarrassed, anxious, or disappointed, and consider how those emotions can influence or will influence any decision you make. And lastly, by golly, I talk to myself all day because I got nobody to talk to. I talk to sugar. Talk to yourself like a trusted friend, for God's sake. When faced with any tough choice, talk to yourself. Talking to yourself like a trusted friend takes some of the emotion out of the decision. It lets you gain distance, believe it or not, from the decision and an opportunity to be more objective. It's also going to help you be kinder to yourself. You'll always now have an alternate perspective, your perspective. You're always going to be able to discuss it with your daily habit. Make it your daily habit that you discuss with yourself the angles on all of your decisions. They're not all going to be right. They're not all going to be wrong. But you know what you now have the ability to do? You now have the ability to do better decision making. I hope you enjoyed this video on some tips to decide things better, frankly, in your life. We need to do it. People need to have easier ways to make decisions. It can be hard, but you know what? It doesn't have to be. This has been The Real Senior Stoner. As always, you know what to do. If you enjoyed today's video, send a like my way. I respond to all the comments and love to have you become a member of the Senior Stoner family on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. And mostly, I just hope you all enjoyed the video on decision making and how we can do it better. Thanks again for joining me today. This has been The Real Senior Stoner. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day.